Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The topic today is organized for success. For
Mm-hmm.
success,
Yes.
principles that help me reach the top.
Yes.
That is interesting. What is the first up to now? Did you call? Did you knock? Okay. So, what are the principles that help me reach the top? That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I hope some of this will help.
Amen.
Okay. The first principle that I really would say um, that is, I'm talking about as a pastor now and
Mm-hmm.
as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
The first principle I will mention is the ability to mobilize people. The ability to mobilize. Yeah, many people don't. Even in some leadership books, you don't normally meet this quality.
Mm.
But for you to really be a leader by excellence and a leader with a difference, the ability to mobilize is a key advantage if you really want to build a big followership. The same thing with business, the ability to be able to mobilize your team or people around you to a given cause or to a given goal or purpose. God has blessed me with that because when I want to do something, I I have been able to develop my skill and myself in such a way that by the time I finish mobilizing people, sometimes I will need to stop them or
Mm.
hold them back because
Wow.
they will really want to do the thing by the end of it. No matter how busy they are, what excuses they used to have, or whatever reason they thought before that the thing would not be possible. So
That's
that
interesting.
yeah, that kind of skill is important because most people don't want to do anything. And
Mm.
that is the biggest challenge leaders have. They don't know how to get their burden, their vision they have to the people around them. If you are an experienced leader, you would discover that the biggest challenge of a leader is to get people around him to be as passionate as he is
Mm-hmm.
and to get them to want to do what he knows must be done. So, if you really want to be a leader with a difference and a leader that will be able to build something that will be an envy to the rest of the world, you must develop in yourself the ability to mobilize people, the ability to really convince them so much that they will be willing to tear their dress or their clothes or to run until you begin to hold them back. You must be able
Wow.
to motivate them so much, put so much fire into them that
Wow.
they will want to even leave everything else and do what you are telling them to do. So
Amen.
that skill, that ability to be able to put fire and inspiration into people, to be able to inspire them and motivate them to want to take on a task that you are encouraging them to take on, that would determine the success or the failure of your ministry. But
Mm.
anybody that is making it big time in this world will be an expert in that. It will be an expert in mobilizing people. When I wrote a book about Steve Jobs, and I was reading and studying about him to write that book. And one of the things I discovered is that his team members that were there in the beginning with him, they are all saying everybody is thinking that Steve Jobs is a genius, but really he was a genius in something else, in ability to mobilize, to make people do what he is thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm.
ability to mobilize people and make them do what he has in his heart. So people say no, people, not too many people know him for that. But at the back room, at the board board office. That is what he's really known for. And at a point, in fact, at a point in his life, one of the reasons why he lost the company, the first company he built, was because he was not able to mobilize and carry along the
The
board
people.
members. Yes, the board. So he lost the company. Then he had to come back because those people couldn't manage it. So, but his greatest gift is that he's able to mobilize people to do what he is seeing in his mind. And so that is exactly what made him to be the one presenting all those new gadgets they designed, because he was bringing that to the fore for the whole world to market his own product as well, and it worked very well. So that is one thing that I will say is one of the key reasons and factors for my success. So if we are talking about the principle that helped me to the top, that the first principle that really I would say is responsible for my success, apart from prayers, apart from
Okay.
fasting and
Yeah.
seeking the face of God, is the ability to mobilize others
People.
to do the to go and follow the course and do what I believe God has put in my heart to do.
Amen.
Especially when it comes to voluntary service. In the business world, it's a little bit different, because in the business world you have incentives for people. You pay them
Yeah.
salaries, you employ them. So if they don't do what you want, then you
You fire
could
them.
fire them and employ other people. But when it comes to voluntary ministry, like church, like we are doing, because most of the assignments in the church, you cannot do it by paying everybody. You cannot pay everybody. So many, you have to rely on volunteers. So to really build a great church, you need a lot of free hands or ready hands. So, and that is when you really need the ability to mobilize. Because if you are going to rely on paying people, your money will never be enough. So for you to get people on their feet to go and do the work of the ministry and serve for free of charge, wow, you need to really have this skill. And in our own situation, for example, when it comes to church life, many people just enjoy coming to the service, sit down on Sunday, listen to the messages, enjoy themselves, and come to say, "Thank you, Pastor. That was a great message." I just come and say thank you, as if na thank you go shop. But they don't know that the church takes thank you is not enough to build a great church. Just by them coming to say thank you, they think they are good enough. But just by saying thank you, they say they even think you should be saying thank you back to them and be thanking them that they are even grateful. But that is not the biggest thing that you need from them. The biggest thing that you need from them is for them to buy into the vision and to be able to, to be able to run with the vision together with you and to be able to accomplish the vision alongside. But most when it comes to church, the stereotype of the church is that people just want to come and get blessed and then say, "Oh, I'm paying my tithe now, or I'm paying my offering, and I'm smiling to pastor. So what is pastor not satisfied about again?" But to build a great church, you need people who do more than just smiling at you or bringing their offering and tithe. They must get up on their feet, and they must get behind you, and they must buy into the vision, and they must be able to say, "Yes, we are going to run alongside with you."
Amen.
Anyway, the skills and how to do that, those are a lot of other those are other new categories of teaching, but that's just the number one point.
I will note that, sir. I have noted that because that is really very, very key. You've used a lot of words that might be down the road. I'll bring just this one alone out. Yeah. Especially, I mean, looking at your own, you mobilize people that are not of your culture.
Yes.
So one will really want to, I mean, this is not for today. I mean, to learn how do in mobilizing people, you use the word, get the fire into them, motivating them to run and to be passionate with the vision.
Yes.
There's just a lot in this point that, I'll make it a topic down the road.
Okay. So the next thing that helped me to get to the top in life, apart from
Yeah.
the ability to mobilize people, is a radical commitment to a given goal and objective. I am very committed to what I want to do. I am 110% committed. And it's not just
Amen.
committed to doing what I need to do faithfully, but I'm radically committed. And that means I become fanatical about what I believe God is asking me to do. I become a fanatic about it. I breathe it. I talk about it. I pray about it. I fast about it. I, read book about, when I, one thing that my people here always get surprised about is that, for example, if I want to address a topic, there was a time I wanted to study the topic of honor, for example, or the topic of administration, because I discovered that coming from Africa, that administration was my weak point, even though the anointing was there and everything, but I didn't know how to manage and structure and all that. So I studied administration for like 3 years, just studying it, studying, reading everything. 3 years I will be studying every month, every week I will read something new about administration until I made it my strength. So another time I wanted to study about strategy. I studied strategy like for 2 years. Every week I'm reading about it. So I'm very fanatical about so a radical commitment to whatever. So for example, I wanted to study about church growth. I read like, I don't know, maybe 100, maybe it's 1,000 books. I don't know. I study every living pastor, every living church in the world that is having mega church or multiple thousand churches. So I study I knew everybody in every continent, in every country, and I studied their secrets. So that kind of quality is needed if you are really serious, or you want to be serious about success, and you want to get to the top. So radical commitment. It must be a very sold out commitment to a given goal, not too many. It has to be to a given goal to a given goal and objective first. Because when your people now see that kind of commitment, they follow suit. It will be easier for you to mobilize them when they see your own commitment. They will do only 50% of what you do. So if your commitment is 50%, they will only do 25%. If your commitment is 20%, they will only be committed 10%. So if your commitment is 10%, they will only be committed 50%. So, but when they see my fanatical commitment and a radical commitment, I become so fanatical about it that, for example, when I was talking to our church about evangelism, to the need to evangelize, I myself gave myself a target. I will have 100 invitations every day, and I will not go back home without giving out all those 100 invitations to the church to people before I come back home. So I would physically invite 100 people every day. And I did that for 2 years by myself. I will give out personally before. So even though other people, I'm telling them to do the same thing, but some of them will invite one person or two people or three, even though I'm inviting 100. Some of them didn't even do anything, but it's because I'm doing something and I'm doing it so radically, it made some of them also to have to do something. So yeah, so it's that kind of, like, for example, when I wanted to my target, the first year of our church, I wanted to build 1,000 church in 2 years. That was my target, 1,000 church in 2 years. But I built a plan and a system so that I will have that 1,000 not in 2 years but in 1 year. But to have 1,000 people to remain in our church, I personally had to touch personally 30,000 people. So I had planned for 30,000 people. So 33, like that's like 300% backup or 3,000% backup, just to know in case something will not work out. So I knew even if I fail 300 times, I mean 10 times, 30 times, I will still make it. 300%, 3,000%, over backup, overdoing what I needed to do. So at the end of the day, when we were 9 months, we were already going to tell that 1,000 people instead of 2 years because I had so many backup plans. So, that's the kind of thing I'm saying, fanatical, radical commitment. Like, for example, when I wanted to also do business, because we were having a lot of financial challenges and I just couldn't surmount it. I read the book of Donald Trump, this guy that is running for president there. When I read his book about how he became a billionaire, how billionaires reason, he has a book about how billionaires think. I read that book and I said, I'm smarter than this guy. I just knew that I'm smarter than him. Even though I'm not a businessman, he's a millionaire, he's a billionaire. And I was not even a thousandaire, talk less of billionaire at that time. But just reading his reason, the way he reasons, I knew I was smarter than him. The only difference is that I was not applying my mind in finances. I was applying my mind in church growth. And that time I was already having 15,000 people. So I knew if I could put that same potential into finances, I could become a millionaire easy. So in his book, he was saying how people become millionaires and things like that and billionaires. And the average, I mean, the record he was talking about in that book was 2 years, that they become a millionaire in 2 years, that is possible. So I put it as a target for myself to make my first million in 2 years. But I put such a system in place that I made it in 9 months. That is about radical commitment. I was so committed. I committed everything to it big that it gave me results in 9 months rather than 2 years. So, just doing what you need to do with 100, 110, 150% commitment. Radical commitment to a given objective, to a given goal. So then your people will become like that. Maybe not like you, but they will they will imitate you. And but in my own case, I make myself the slave of my decisions. So once I put a goal before myself and I've decided that this goal must be attained, I make myself the servant of it. So to me, it doesn't matter if I eat or if I don't eat or if I sleep, if I don't sleep. I need to do what I need to do, need to get to what I need to get to. So I make myself, everything has to obey, everything has to follow that dedication and that decision. But of course, it has a little bit of downside to it. You get your result, but some people might be thinking that you neglect them at that point, or you don't have time for other people. But that's the price success takes sometimes. So it's just about what you need. Do you want success, or you want people to just be good to you, to say you are good to them? And that's why some people are saying successful people, especially rich people, that they are callous people, that that they are just, that they walk on people's head or something. That's what people always say. It's because they are so committed. They are committed. But that's the kind of quality that brings results. It's just like Jesus saying, you have to forsake your father and your mother if you want to be his disciple. That's the kind of commitment he was asking for as well. And all the people who have big results, they are fanatical people. They are fanatical about something. So I'm not sure if it's a good quality or not. But if I talk to my wife now, she might not think it's too good a quality because she likes to be balanced. She likes balance. So she might dispute that. But The good thing she will not even be able to dispose it, that at least it will give you the result.
Amen.
That's good. Radical commitment to the goal.
Yes,
That's good.
yes. So
That's good.
the next thing that helped me to be who I am today is also uh, you have to give room to flexibility, experimentation, and risk taking. Success
Mm-hmm.
demands a lot of risk. So I am a risk taker myself, and but also willingness to be flexible and willingness to give up. For example, if I start doing something, let's say I start if teaching on some things or doing a style of ministry, if I see that it's not working, I don't hold on rigidly to it. I say, oh, this is the way I was taught, or this is the doctrine we have. I will just change it. I'm ready to change and turn my back and just do what will work, because I'm after results. The only judge of my effort is the result. If I don't have results, my effort is not worth it. So
Mm-hmm.
that gives me uh, that teaches me that I have to be flexible, not too rigid to say I will only do things my way or the way I understand it. But I must be willing to learn. I must be willing to change. I must be willing to submit myself. I must be willing to humble myself. I must be willing to, to recount some things and to admit some things that are not working out. And then I must be willing to experiment as well. So the freedom to try new things, the freedom to uh, to learn, to take new experiences, to let's study new cultures, new traditions. When I was growing in the church, I studied what everybody was doing. I studied what people in Africa were doing. I studied what Korean people were doing. I studied what Latin America people were doing, what European were doing. Everything. I was open to do anything if it will give me the result that I need. So that pragmatic mindset was what gives me the reason. For example, if sometimes I came to the church, I discovered that new people were not staying because they were being pushed back because of our music. They were not used to this kind of what they call it, contemporary music in church in this part of the world, because they are more orthodox kind of churches. You know what? At a point I just refused doing no praise and worship. I remove everything altogether. I didn't say because the Bible say, oh, you have to come to the house of the Lord with praise. I said I need result. I want people to stay. Once they
Amen.
finish staying, then we'll go back to praise and worship. And that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
So we start with teaching and just teaching, and then now we have praise and worship. But now it's easier because we have thousands of people. So people, it's easier for people to accept. But when you are just a small number of people, they think it's a cult or it's a sect that you are having dancing and things. So they don't always understand. But some people would have said, no, praise and worship must be there. That's the order of service now. But I didn't do that. In other at another time, I discovered that people are more impressed by results. So in the beginning of the service, we started the service not with praise and worship or with anything. We started service with testimonies, and that also helped. Yes, that also helped uh, it also helped the church in a new way. And
Amen.
at another time we started the church with prayers, just all kind of experimentation, just anything that will yield result. And so the willingness to be flexible, to learn, to change, to experiment, they help in me particularly become okay. For example, the reason I don't speak Yoruba up to now Even though I used to speak Yoruba all my life before I left Nigeria, is because I discovered that people around me here, even though they are Africans and some of them, if I was going to be speaking to people around here, I was going to lose them. So I just moved to Russian. And now if I want to speak Yoruba, Russian will be coming out because I wanted to learn the language. I really wanted to master it. But it's helping me to get the result, but I lost in another. That's why my wife talks about balance, because I won in one area, but I lost in another one. Even though I understand Yoruba still, but I can't communicate very well in it now. So that kind of thing. But I wanted to learn the language. I wanted to master it. I was willing to change. Some people say, okay, like here now in Europe, yeah, most of our churches, Nigerian churches, they have Nigerian people in them. Because the way, whenever I go to see them, I know they will not have white people or other people, because the model of their services and music and everything is still geared towards the African tradition. But in my case, I was willing to to reject even my own tradition or culture just to be able to have results. So I was willing to embrace other culture, to embrace other style or system of doing things, and it has helped me. So that willingness to be flexible, to experiment, and to be willing to change from whatever you knew before, also helped me a lot. It depends on the result you want. If you really are after that result, I have other points here. I have 7 points for you, but I will just stop at this, because then if I give too much, then you will not remember them. So
We're writing, sir. We're writing things down.
Yeah, I think we have been speaking for quite some time now. So the first one is the ability to mobilize. The second one, the total commitment to a given goal and objective. And then the ability to the willingness to be flexible, to experiment, and to change. Yes. Risk taking. Because to change is a risk. To experiment is a risk. It might not work out. And sometimes it don't work out, but we change again. The next one, if you want, the next point is you must develop a formidable team. Everybody talks about that. So
Yeah, you just put something in your on the blog today
yes.
concerning the team of the richest black man.
Yes.
I read your blog about that. Huh?
That is Dangote.
Dangote, yeah, I read the blog.
Yes. So that is a winning team is everything. You must be able to build a team and that will be able to follow you and be able to go in the same direction. But building a team on its own is a big topic. Spending time with them, pick how to pick the right people, the most serious ones, the dedicated ones, and help them to be able to buy into the vision and into the dream, for them to be passionate as you, to live and work, for the vision, and it's a whole topic on its own. So we'll stop at 4.
That's okay, sir. It's super good in terms of what you've mentioned. The ability to mobilize people, radical commitment to the goal.
Yeah.
Give room to flexibility and risk taking.
Okay, let me just quickly mention the other points to you. Number 5th point is that make sure you build your life and ministry on the voice of God.
Life and ministry on the voice of God.
Yes, make sure you spend time to hear God at every junction of the way.
Okay.
Not just the Bible, but on the voice of God. Make sure God gives you instructions and directions. You follow them. Then the next one, know your strong points. Some people, their strong points organization. Some people is speaking. Some people is learning. Some people is asking questions. Some people is in team. Some people is in relationships. Some people is in communication. Know your strong points. Five, 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and develop them into to be your anchor, and maximize them, and then use them to be your strength. Do events around them, do activities around them, popularize
Amen.
them. Yes, do events, popularize them, and make sure that all your activities are around your gifts and your strong points, and they will
Mhm.
attract and bring you to
People.
the gift of a
Mhm.
man will bring him
Lamplight.
before great men.
Amen.
So know your strong points and your gifts, develop them, and build activities around them.
Amen. I like that, sir, very much.
Okay. Then
Because there are things Pastor is doing here. Even sometimes we have what we call push Sunday. We do that every other month. And it means praise until something happens.
yes,
So I coordinate that. And so I was telling him maybe we do it too much. He said, no, that's our strength. We
yes,
have to continue doing that.
yes,
And then he does a leadership call. So I like how you said, we should build our strength, use our strength
yes. You have to
to praise.
identify five, 3, 4, 5 of those, and then make that the strong point of your ministry.
Thank you.
That's good.
So the last point is try to live a life of discipline in from the purity of thoughts to actions, and in your lifestyle. That will protect you and protect the work.
Amen.
Purity of thought, actions, and your lifestyle.
Yes,
Good. Yeah, that's another, big stuff on its own, especially when you say living a life of discipline. That's good.
yes. So that will
Thank,
help a great deal as well. So
that's, thank you very much.
I like the balance part very well, like Pastor Bose
Pastor
said.
Bose,
All of my heart.
that is what Pastor Bose will always talk to me about.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you very much, and we really thank God for you in whatever in everything you're doing to help people, and in getting this done. The ability to mobilize people is a very big one. We'll make that a topic for the next time. How do you deal with people? I think we've mentioned that before. I don't know, but it's never late too much to really revisit ability to mobilize people. The other thing I like to discuss down the road, although you didn't mention that today, is you just mentioned you read a lot of books, so much books, and of course, and you've written a lot. Is how do your system of capturing and filing your ideas and thoughts. That's another thing we'd like to know down the road. You know, what is your system and how do you get them back?
Oh yeah, I have a system of information storage and retrieval. Yeah,
Hmm.
effective one for me. I document everything. One day when you give me the topic, my idea for my system of information storage and retrieval, how I capture ideas. I will show you a lot of things about that.
That's good. It's something that I will really, really part of the thing I like to learn
But
in terms of.
I'm afraid that you might not be able to do that effectively by Skype. It's
Oh, okay. One has to see it
yes,
physically.
yes, yes. You have
Okay,
to sit with
that's good.
me.
Yeah,
Thank you so
that's.
much.
God bless you,
Thank you for
sir. Thank
taking
you
so
very
long of
much.
your time tonight.
No, I mean you are the one that have really stayed alone, so you need to go and rest for tomorrow. God bless
Yeah,
you, Pastor
thank you.
Sunday.
Have a good day today. Blessings.
Thank you, sir.
Amen.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless you, sir. Bye-bye.